What's up, dudes and dudettes? This is Noel on PC, and today I'm going to show you how to build your own space shuttle. This is something I got asked a lot, and I just never really wanted to do, how do I put it, like how-tos. You know, I just prefer to play the game, just sort of have some fun, role play a little bit, you know, and go from there. But you guys really, really wanted me to show you how to build a shuttle, so I'm going to do that. But we're not going to do it the right way, we're just going to do it the fast way. The right way would be to balance power to weight ratios. Like, this craft has been test flown, like literally like probably over 100 times before it actually went into, you know, orbit, so to speak. There we go. And you can tell it flies really nicely. It looks pretty accurate. It's got the upswept wings, lots of motors in the right place, you know. It's a good looking craft. It's a good looking craft. And it flies really, really well. And it's got the fun parachutes that look like boobies. Okay, so we are going to just deke right back into the space plane hangar. I'm going to start a new file. And we are just going to see what we can come up with, basically on the first try, so to speak. All right, lower it down a bit, get it closer to the ground so I can see what I'm doing. We're going to start with the nose. I never use a parachute, that's pointless. So we're going to use the old shielded docking port so you can dock with your space station or whatnots. For the sake of weight, we're going to do something like this. Passenger module, so we can take space tourists. You know, whatever the pop star's name is on Kerbal. Justin Kerbal. Elon Kerbal is going to send Justin Kerbal. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, we need a light middle section, so let's just do something like this. Now this is going to carry a few things. Just a couple of things. Two large monopropellant tanks. You know, you're going to need monopropellant. We're not going to need a ton, but I'm going to take more than we're ever going to use. We'll put on the RCS jets later if I remember. If I don't remember, please don't forget to put RCS jets all the way around. Otherwise, when you're up in space, things are going to get really fucking hairy for you. Okay, so we need, there it is. I always lose these things. The picture is very poor. It should be a different angle so you can actually see what it is. Good enough. Okay, so we're generating some power, a little bit of clipping there. I could honestly give a shit less. I'm a clipper, I don't care. Fuel. Plop a big thing, nope, not liquid fuel. We need actual, like, rocketry fuel. There we go. Is that long enough? Yeah, it looks long enough. Yeah, probably. Okay, so we'll start with a tail fin, because that's going to help me see if this is sort of to scale. I mean, if it's not to scale, you can always just do this. Do this, and we'll just put something in there. You know, put a mono propellant thing in. But that looks about right. Frankly, it looks good enough. Let's throw some wings on. We're using the big Delta wings. Put them up around the middle. We can move them later. Yeah, that is about right. It's about the right length. Beauty. Okay, let's drag them down a bit. Now, we don't want them too low because we're going to mount the rear landing gear on them. But this is something you have to do if you're going to do a quick craft. If you're not going to actually take the time to do it right, you're probably going to need a lot of extra lift in the front. So do something like that. No one will ever notice. If they do, they're very observant. Sure, we'll do that. A little bit of gap up here in the front so we can actually just pigeon toe them in just a titch. And then probably pull it out and back a little bit. Is there a gap there? Trying to see if there's a gap right in between. No, it doesn't look like it. It actually shores up nicely with the rear. What we can do is just pigeon toe it back the other way just a hair. There we go, and then slide it over just a hair. Beautiful. Okay, let's move on. We need some pretty big lift back here. Nope. Probably want the big part on the inside. Yeah, like that. And then we'll do, how much room do we have here? Can we do one of these? Nice. And one of these. Nice. Perfect. There we go. Let's throw some landing gear on while we're down here. We're going to use something a little smaller in the front, but I'm, let me just show you. I'm avoiding at all fucking costs these ones. This piece of landing gear, seemingly right now, is completely broken. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing it or if it's just my particular corrupt version of the game, but it drives like a Zamboni. If you put those wheels on anything, even perfectly level, you don't alter them at all, they're literally 90 degrees straight down, they will float around like they're on ice. And I have had great luck with every other wheel. It's just those wheels that I'm having an awful time with. So we're gonna throw a couple of those on, probably like so. That's hideous. Absolutely hideous. So we're probably gonna have to move either the wings up, or we're gonna have to clip this into here a little bit. Okay, that jumped up a little bit. Let's do this. Went up 2, and 2. Getting a little more level. Okay, that's probably good enough as far as I'm concerned. Something else we can do in the saving our butts prospects, because we're doing this quickly. If you have a lift issue in the front, just do something like this. Just hide a couple of these guys inside. You should never do this on a real craft. If you're gonna build a craft like permanently, so to speak, like you could build something like this, test it like a dozen times, get it just right, so you're not cheating, no clipping, no parts inside, stuff like that. If you play like that, definitely do that. Definitely do that, because it is so much more rewarding. But for the sake of time, and we want this thing to actually fly, that's a great way to just cheat some time. Probably do want 2. I was thinking about just putting 1, but you know what? This is going to be a big, heavy craft when it's done. So we're just going to stick a couple on either end. All right, that's just to do the ups and downs. Good enough. And we need a couple on the sides, probably. Or we could actually just do one of those. These are pretty archaic. I have some pretty fancy ass ones like this motherfucker, but no. Stock parts. It's always good to use stock parts. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I don't think this is a stock part. Is that a stock part? Now that I think about it. I don't think, yeah, Kerbal aircraft. Well, maybe it is a stock part. I don't fucking know. I download mods once in a while and I throw them in there and I just kind of forget. I try to use stock parts and then I end up using modded parts by accident sometimes. I did that where a buddy was like, hey, send me that file, and I sent him the file, and of course it had a modified part in it, and he wasn't able to use the file. We're going to sweep the wings up just a little bit, and that should raise the landing gear up just a hair, which might make it a little more level. We want no steering, brake off. I want to disable this. I'm really confused by what all this means. Okay, I think that's off. And we want to raise the rear brakes. Good. Perfect. Okay. So we need some engines. Oh, what we also need is like blank. Just a little something to push, just in case, you know? probably also at the front have something to stop. You know. You know, man. Oh, that looks goofy as hell. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay. So it won't have a brake. It can go forward really fast. It just won't have a brake. There. Alright, so we need propulsion. Probably gonna need some big engines, because this is gonna weigh, like, I'd say a lot, but I think that's an understatement. Yeah, we're gonna need lots and lots and lots of thrust. Why is it only doing one? I've noticed that is a bug that happens once in a while with the engines. So you come back to put it on and it's set to singular. So we got double. We need one of these. Oh, is that the right one? Definitely not. Yeah, one of these. See, just one again. What's going on? Game, please. Game. Lord Gaiman, please. Don't even make that game. Yeah, that's probably good enough. We're just going to shore it up into the wall. The side of the fuselage a little bit. A little bit of clipping and whatnot, but it needs to be sort of flush, more rounded to the craft. Things look okay. Things look okay. Now, this is where things get a little trickier. There's sometimes some trial and error here. We're going to stick one of these here, turn it around backwards. Should probably move this forward just a bit. There we go. We're going to stick a giant engine on there. There we go. We're going to rotate it up a couple. That was 3. Let's go 4. And we're going to slide it back. That's looking better. Because when this thing goes vert, like when you put this on a launcher, right, all the weight and thrust is going to be way out here. So you need this mainsail rocket and having it going full blast in order to sort of counteract the drag on the one side, all this weight that's also on the one side, and the thrust you're trying to make. You want to balance all that, right? So you need a big engine, and it has to be kind of askew like this. If you put it straight out the back, it's not going to work. Well, it might work. Don't get me wrong, it might work, but it probably won't work. I've done this a lot. Just take my word for it. Seriously? Seriously? Hey, just take my word for it. Okay, we'll start down here. So I think that's going to be lots of room. We don't need the big ones this time. I do these little guys and the ones that have vectoring. Yeah, there we go, the swivel. It's a very appropriate name. Okay, we're going to go up 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just going to slide her back in. Pull it out and down a little bit. That's what she said. Just so it hides those things. Good enough. Good enough. Now, we need some straps. We got to strap things down. And I like to hide some parachutes just in this little crevice. Oh, just in this little crevice here. We're just going to paint a little bush right in here. A little Bob Ross. We're going to paint a little happy parachute right in there. It's a happy little parachute. His name's Cletus. Going to move the parachutes to its own thing before I forget. Okay, now we're just going to quickly strap her down. This really won't take long because it's a rather small craft. We don't have to do too much, just a couple here and there. Oh, one more back here. There we go. Bazinga. Bazinga, bitch. I think she's gonna fly. Let's see, what does she look like? Center of mass, center of lift, center of thrust. Holy shit. That is holy shit. Okay. Holy shit. Holy shit. I really only want those going. So for now, let's do this, because we're just gonna fly it terrestrially for a little while. Let's crash this fucker. Let's see what happens. I hope this really inspires you guys to build your own reusable spacecraft, because there's something very rewarding about landing this thing, you know, getting the crew safely home and then reusing it. Well, having the sensation that you're reusing it. I mean, in game terms, you land, you recover, it just deletes that craft out of the save file. You're not technically reusing the same craft again, but maybe someday in the future, there will be like wear and tear as you do a re-entry. It'll like burn the bottom of your craft, and then you're literally reusing that same burnt craft until you pay for a new one. That would be very cool. Now we've got a little bit of lean on, so it's going to be really hard to lean that weight in the front up, so we might end up going off the end of the runway and then doing it that way. So what I would want to do is probably raise the back wheels into the wing more, maybe clip it a little more up into the engine. No one would ever really notice. The landing gear should still come down, but it would make for a level plane. That would be very helpful. That would be extremely helpful right now. Okay, are we dry? We're dry. I need to go wet. I should have made a bootin' for that. Didn't I just go wet? Oh, I deactivated engines instead of toggling mode. There we go. There we go. All right, full throttle. Make sure the SAS is on. She's rolling. It's a great sign. Is she rolling straight and true? Pretty darn straight and true. No obnoxious wobble. If you do use these afterburn engines, I've noticed the gimbaling is pretty crazy on them. Like some of the gimbaling is upwards of like 10%. So you really got to watch that if you are using a 10%, maybe turn the gimbal off and just let your rudders and ailerons and stuff do all that work instead. Okay. Okay, I think it's working. We are accelerating. We are gaining altitude. That means we have a functioning plane here. So yeah, we did it. We did it. Now you've seen me land one of these already at the beginning of the video, so you can stick around if you'd like, but I'm going to call it here. I hope you like this video. I hope I hope it inspires you to build a similar craft, not the exact same craft. Don't just copy piece for piece. If you have to, do it, but take it and inspire it along the way. I definitely suggest using this tail and these wings, but for the engines and the gas tanks and the landing gear and the motors on the back, whatever you want to do, by all means, really have some fun with how you set things up and do things. So guys, until next time, happy building, happy hunting, peace, love, cheers. Now let's go crash this bitch. Oh, you can see a little bit of parts coming through there. To be expected. Let's activate this to assist this turn. Get some speed back up. There we go. Speed's coming on strong. Gonna throttle back. Pop the landing gear down. We're about a kilometer out. Pop the brakes on because I don't have any air brake. Okay, gotta keep throttling back because we're gaining speed like a mofo. I could probably go pretty much throttle off. Or actually, let's go toggle. There, we're back on dry. Oh, we're very high. That rhymed unintentionally. Should we try first person landing? I'm pretty awful at this. This should be funny. Okay, we got, yeah, I got the brakes on, got the gear down. Yeah. I had to check, I'm sorry. Okay, speeds up a little high. I hate having to look down at my level? Okay, we're gonna ditch some speed like crazy, ditch some height like crazy. Okay. Nope, we're up, we're airborne. We're airborne, we're flying again. Okay, I think our wheels just keep bouncing. Yeah, there we go. Oh shit, we're dying. Are we dead? Is this heaven? No, we made it. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's a yard sale. How much for this wheel? Make me an offer. It says 75 cents. How about 25 cents? Get the fuck off my lawn. How about 50 cents? Get the fuck off my lawn. All right, guys, I hope you liked the video. Until next time, peace, love, cheers.